We them ninjas, yeah. Chop it up like a blender, quick, fast, cut your grass, yeah. Chop it up like a blender, quick, fast, cut your grass, yeah. Chop it up like a blender. Saving green, be the team. We gon' pull up on the scene. Cut your grass by any means. It started out as just a dream, like Biggie. Now we the best in the city, like Biggie. Now we the best in the city. Pull up.
What's up, ninjas? What is up on this sneaky Saturday? Look where I'm at. The church, and oh my goodness, is it freaking tall. Getting ready to walk out here and I'll show you. It's really bad, especially in this field. So we got the front, which is right over here, and then of course you got the back. I don't know how the back looks. Everything is pretty tall, but what I've noticed mostly when I pulled up is this field, man. It's, some parts are like up to your knee. Anyway, I hope all you ninjas are doing good on this sneaky Saturday. Hope everyone has a good Father's Day. So tomorrow is Father's Day. If you didn't know, I hope you know. So if you see a dad, you know, thank the mother effer. I have some news. So we're gonna do a Happy Father's Day giveaway special. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I have partnered up with Super Clean, and all you have to do is in the comments section, ninjas, give me your favorite memory with your dad. So comment down below your favorite memory with your dad, and I'll pick the winner. Whoever has the best story, I'll just pick a winner. It doesn't really matter. I'm not trying to get all super technical. Whichever one stands out the most, and you will win a 1 gallon of Super Clean, 1 Arsenal can, 1 Super Clean hat. You can choose between the one I have and then the 1 Super Clean shirt. What I mean by hat, I'm sure there's a couple of choices, but you can pick this one or you can pick this one. I like the camo too, but I like this one, you know, there's just something about it, like Super Clean. So, your favorite memory with your dad, ninjas, and I'll pick the winner. And what Super Clean is gonna do is they're just gonna go ahead and directly mail it to you. So whoever I pick as the winner, I'll go ahead and comment down below in one of the comments, whoever I choose. And then, you know, you can DM me on Instagram and, you know, give me all your information, name and address and all that. And we'll just go ahead and send you a package of care. Let's take a look at this. Let's see the back. Looks like they put up a fence back here. Hopefully I can still get in. I mean, everything's pretty tall. It's crazy. So we've had nothing but all week last week of rain. Yeah, it looks like I can get in. It doesn't look like it's locked. I wonder why they put this fence up. Very interesting, yeah. So it's pretty tall, but again, nothing like that field. So there's just something about that field. I don't know what it is, but that field grows. Anyway, hey, I wanted to tell you while I'm walking over here is hopefully next week, it just depends on if they get all the stuff in. They're doing some mods on it, but I am going to be picking up my new mower. That's right, you heard me, new mower. So I'm changing a little bit of the fleet. Nothing too much, you know. It's not like a dramatic change, but hey, anytime you pick up a new mower, yeah, it's a good day. So look at this. My goodness. So this is what I would call definitely overgrown. Definitely past my ankles, but I saw a few little spots that's like up to my knees over here. Man, this is tall. So we really needed some rain, and of course I've been playing catch up. I should have already mowed this yard a couple days ago. I mean, look at that. That's almost up to my waist. Yeah. And then you've got a couple other spots out here that's like up to my knees. So I should have mowed this a couple days ago, but I've been playing catch up, of course, as I mentioned it in this last video yesterday, or the day before yesterday. But it is what it is, you know. Sometimes you're just dealing with weather. What I was gonna tell you is we really needed some rain, really bad. And then we finally got it, but it was like a whole week of rain. Well, it just happened to be the week that I was out of town anyway. So that was good, but then when I came back, we got more rain. And, well, that's the story ever since. So whenever I'm dealing with this kind of height, definitely an overgrown yard, okay? I'd call this an overgrown property right now. I'm gonna have to do double cuts on this, so it's gonna take me a while, plus all the trimming and everything. I'll be here for a couple hours. But what I do is I cut it first time on a higher level, so that way I don't clump up as bad. I'm sure I'll still clump, especially in some of these thicker areas, but not as bad. And then I'll come back second time, drop the deck. And then honestly, whenever I'm dealing with this kind of height, I've even known to come back the third time. After I cut it the second time with the height that I want it, I have to raise the deck back up. And then, you know, if I still have some areas where it's a little clumpy or thick, I spread the grass. So anyway, that is what is going on with me this morning. So next week I'm gonna start pretty much looking for an employee. I mentioned this in the last video. I'm gonna start the process, and then you know, we'll go from there. And then of course next week they're doing some mods to my mower, and so hopefully I have to order some parts, and if it comes in this next week as we hope, then you know, they'll go ahead and put that on there and I'll go ahead and pick it up. So pretty excited about that. It's a brand new mower. I think a lot of you ninjas are going to be surprised. I gotta tighten this freaking thing. See, I don't have a problem with this one, but I got a problem with this one. See how it's turning? And I've even put this little rubber underneath right here, and it's still turning. I don't know. I have another one. I may need to put another one at the bottom. I just put one. It was doing fine there for a while at first, but now I am so behind on things. I still got to change this. I got the new camo rack. I just have not had time, and then I went out of town, and I've been scrambling to try to stay afloat on things because I knew I was going out of town, so I just haven't had time. There's a lot of freaking out of time, not enough time, don't have time. So I got to change this. I got to install the power shoe design on the 52. I have not forgotten. It's just been, as I said, really crazy. And got to fix this. Oh, finally ran out of the yellow ugly line. See how it splits right here at the ends? So I ended up finally putting this stuff right here. So we'll see how this does. You know, hopefully it doesn't split like the other one. I'm pretty sure it'll do just fine. Anyway, I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to get done with the sprinkles coming in. If it gets any heavier, I may have to stop and come back and finish it tomorrow. I don't know. But I still got quite a few yards to go after this. But I wanted to tell you, anytime I'm working next to a busy highway or just the road, this is a pretty busy intersection right here. And anytime you're working next to stuff like that, if you have a safety vest, I would totally recommend it, because I'm telling you, a lot of nowadays people don't pay attention, texting, driving, you know, it's pretty nuts. So if you can wear a safety vest, or anything for that matter that makes you stand out even more, I would recommend it. Yeah, the rain's coming down. This is nuts, and I just got here, so let's go.
I don't know what you want. Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run to the other side, my love.
So what I do is I use the 52 to get the little islands and stuff around the building, just because it's smaller and easier to maneuver around. But then I'll go ahead and jump on the sgninjas mower, and of course use the 61 for the bigger areas. I also just noticed, look at this. Yep, it's gonna be time. I need to go ahead and get that replaced before, hopefully I can make it by the end of the day. I don't know, but that's just waiting to happen. So you'll have stuff like this that constantly pop up, you know. I don't even know why it's doing that. All right, so I got that done. I can't get in there. There's just no way I can jump that curve like that. That's too big. But now I'll probably start with the front first, and then get the field, and then do the back, because I want to get the most important stuff out of the way first, in case this rain actually decides to really get here, because it's stopped now. The sun is out. So I went ahead and got the front done. I had to mow it like, I don't know, 3-4 times to really disperse all that grass, but I finally got it on the height that I want. So this is what I do when I'm dealing with this type of weather, where you never know. It started raining, then it stopped. I looked at the forecast and they're calling for about 50%, so I may come back. Let me go park over there and I'll tell you what I do. So what I do when I'm dealing with this kind of unpredictable weather is I'll go ahead and do sections at a time first, and I'll go ahead and trim those sections. I probably should blow off too, but I guess I'll just assess the weather at that time. But why do I stop mowing and then go trim those areas? Because if the rain actually comes down severely and it forces me to stop, at least the areas that I mowed, they are completed. And yes, it's still not going to look really good because you'll have one area not mowed, one area mowed. But at least that way, this is done and I don't have to mess with it again. And it actually looks better than when what it looks now, mowed but not trimmed. And you've got all this, because the grass was tall anyway, you've got all these areas where it needs to be trimmed that are super tall and the grass is short. It just does not look cool. So what I do is I stop mowing, I grab the trimmer, I'll go ahead and do my little islands, as you saw me earlier, mow those, and I'll trim all the front, and that way I'm done. And then I'll go to the field, and of course the back. And then there's a children's playground on the other side of the building as well. So that's what I do. That way, if I do get caught in the rain, at least those areas are done and they look good, and then I'll just come back and finish the rest. Hopefully that's not the case, but I'm not gonna risk it. I'll go ahead and trim and then move on. You see, ninjas, this is exactly what I was talking about. Anyway, I got everything done, all the islands and the children's playground mowed, trimmed, and the front, and everything is blown off. So the only two sections that are not done is the 50th field and the back yard. But this is exactly why is it so dark? Why? Well, I guess this is only for if you're running solo, because if you have a guy or two with you, you know, a helper, then it doesn't make sense, right? I mean, obviously one is going to trim and the other one's going to blow off or mow, you know what I mean. But when you are solo and you're dealing with unpredicted weather like I am today, see, now I feel good because those sections are done. Could you imagine how I would be scrambling and freaking out because I'm like, oh my gosh, I still got to trim, I got to blow off, this is not good. But when you're doing it in sections like this, it's not as bad. I'll probably go ahead and do the backyard because, again, assessing the two, the field is the worst. And I know that's going to take the longest. So worst case scenario, if I have to come back tomorrow and all I have to do is that field, that's not bad. That's fine. And the owners or the church will completely be understanding. They're just happy that the front is done, the playground, and then if I get this back, that's going to be a bonus. But if I have to text them and tell them, hey, you know, the rain came down, I didn't get to the big field, I'll be back tomorrow, they'll be perfectly fine with that, because even though tomorrow is Sunday and they have service, I'm not really in the way of anybody if I'm just doing that field. But if I'm having to do the front, if I'm having to do the back, or the children's playground, which is on the other side of the building, I'm gonna be in their way. And that's actually what happened last time. I was here on a Sunday and I didn't get a chance to finish up. No, I didn't get a chance to get to the whole property until Sunday. I was doing everything. And man, you know, kids were playing everywhere. I mean, there was just a lot of stuff, a lot of activity, and they were having to get out of the way, and I had to be extra careful around them. It can really be a dangerous situation. And just annoying, right? Because I'm in their way, they're in my way, you know, stuff like that. So that is what I do when I am solo and if I'm dealing with unpredicted weather. Now, if the skies were clear and everything was fine, I normally just mow everything and then I'll trim everything and then I'll blow off. But when you're dealing with stuff like this, I think the working in sections is better. Not to mention, honestly, even if the weather is nice, ninjas, I kind of like the sections. You know why? Because it gives you a little break, you know, from mowing, and then it gives you a little break from trimming and you go back to mowing. I don't know, when you're dealing with a big property, maybe working in sections is better, because when you're mowing the whole property, and this is a big property, man, it gets old after a while. It gets like, you know, especially if you're dealing with overgrown yard and you're having to rerun everything a couple of times. And then when you get everything done with the mowing, man, you got to trim everything, and that, it can be exhausting. And then blowing off, I mean, I usually, and that's why I prefer stand-on mowers. I mean, I've said this before, but when you're dealing with a big property like this, you just ride around with your mower. You can't do that with a sit-down, you know, but you ride around with your mower and blow everything off. That's not as bad. I'm not worried about that. It's just the trimming and the mowing. So remember, ninjas, I'm running the first time on a higher level. I think I'm running on 4 inches, and then I'll go ahead and drop it down to 3.5. So when I do the first time cut, I'm not looking for perfection. It's not going to be a clean cut. I'm also going full speed, so I'm not going to slow down. What I'm trying to do is basically just bring the grass lower. I'm not worried about if it skips or, you know, it doesn't cut it clean, because the second time around, when I drop it down to the proper height, that's when everything will get cleaned up, and I'll go a little bit slower that time, and that way it, you know, looks good. So first time is just to bring it down. It's really not even that tall through there. I already made 2 passes, but it gets pretty thick around here where this basketball court is and stuff. Just finished with the back, got her trimmed up and blew everything off, and I wanted to just quickly show you how it turned out. So running it the first time just real quickly to bring the grass down, and then I ran it the second time on the proper height, and I don't want to say I ran it again, but like I made 2, 3, maybe 4 extra passes right over here somewhere where it was thicker. I had to raise the deck again just to kind of spread out some of that grass that was a little thicker and heavier. But there it is. And I didn't really worry about any kind of stripes or anything. So anytime I'm dealing with any kind of overgrown yards, I'm not, that's the last thing on my mind. So worst case scenario will be I mow this and then the rain comes down and I'll have to come back and trim it. That's like the last thing I want to do, okay? But you got to do sometimes what you got to do. So I guess we can call this video an overgrown yard, because it was overgrown and the field is definitely overgrown. Working solo, so this only pertains to those people who are out there solo and you come across a yard that's pretty overgrown and you're dealing with some crazy weather like this. I like the whole step thing because I mowed. As I mentioned earlier, I don't need to repeat. I got off the mower, I trimmed, and then I blew off, and I'm not as tired. That's what's cool about it. I'm not as tired. Now, This is the monster. All this stuff, when you put it together, it's probably like the field, just as far as the size, okay? Because there's a lot of mowing here. Then you got that hill on the side, and there's quite a bit of trimming here. Just too many obstacles in the middle, all the bushes, and then that hill and the bottom of that hill down there where the rocks are, all these trees. You got a little half broken, half not playground. So, like I said, we're gonna call this video an overgrown yard, you know, solo mowing step by step. What I think is the best way to do it when you are by yourself. I think so. And just to give you a better idea of how tall this field is, I mean, look at the mower. It's freaking tall. This is definitely going to be a triple cut, no doubt. Gotta love it when you really need the rain, and then when you get the rain, it's non-stop for a whole week and it does this. You have it, ninjas. It's a wrap. And you can see it's been raining. I got rained on. It's literally been raining on me the whole time I've been here. All the equipment is wet. Everything is just nasty. At least I was able to blow off the mower pretty good, I guess, because when the grass clippings are wet, they just slide off of there. But anyway, they're still pretty dirty. And you can see my pants and these shoes. Speaking of shoes, I think these Cujos are done. I think they've ripped on the inside and the back, because it's like, it's kind of like bothering me when I'm walking. I'll have to take a look at it, but yeah, I think they're shot. So they lasted me about a year, maybe a little more than a year. But anyway, everything's trimmed, and then blowing off always is a challenge when parking lot's wet, because the grass clippings just stick to it. So that took a little longer than usual, but the property is done. And personally, it looks good. If you ask me, it looks good. There you go. And then we'll have to repeat this whole thing again in 2 weeks. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go try to do one more right up the road, a little granny one. And I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits and get this video uploaded for you, ninjas. So, hey, listen, hope this has helped you for real. If you are a solo ninja out there and you have a bigger property, whether it's permanent solo, you know, you just choose to, or whether maybe you're in the middle of right now trying to find somebody, that seems to be the case with a lot of us. Do it in sections. I'm not nowhere near as tired as I would be and normally am when I mow the whole thing, and then I have to trim the whole thing, and then I have to blow off everything. Because, I don't know, I think just switching it up on your body, you know, you mow for a little bit, then you go trim that section. And it doesn't have to be like a small section, but like if it's a big property, big commercial property, and you have these sections like I do, for example, you know, that one, and then the back. Then do it in sections. And I'm serious, you're not gonna be as tired, and I feel good. If it wasn't like this late in the day, I'd probably go continue on for another couple of yards. And of course, if it wasn't raining, I think we got more rain on the way. It just happened to stop right now as I finished blowing off. But yeah, overgrown yard, solo operator, step by step. And I think if you do it like that, you're gonna feel not as tired. And I don't know, I don't, to me it feels like I'm faster at it, even though today it took me longer just because it was overgrown. Now, if it wasn't overgrown and I did it the way I did it today, which I plan to keep doing it this way from here on, I really feel like I'm gonna be a lot faster. So we'll see how it does, you know, 2 weeks from now. This is depending if it's 2 weeks from now, it might be overgrown again. Depends, you know, with the crazy amount of rain. But stay tuned on the new mower video. Not sure when that's gonna be, but it is coming up. So I'm hoping this next week, but you know, it just depends if the parts come in, because they're doing a little changes on it and whatnot. So yeah, it'll be pretty exciting. Thank you for tuning in for another one. Appreciate you, ninjas. Happy Father's Day. Please don't forget, in the comments section, write something about you and your dad, and I'll pick somebody and then I'll turn it into Super Clean. And you know, as long as we get in touch, whoever I pick, and get their information, and I'll pass it on to them, and they'll just send you a little package of care. You know what I mean? Why not? Why not? So thank you to Super Clean as well for wanting to be a part of this. It's awesome. But yeah, there you go. Remember, thank a mother effer, and have a good weekend. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Saving green, be the team, we gon' pull up on the scene. Cut your grass by any means, it started out as just a dream. Like Biggie, now we the best in the city. Like Biggie, now we the best in the city. Pull up, pull up, pull up, saving green.